What's good, YouTube? Philanthropy's back for another video. Sitting here watching the Aces go at it with the Washington Mystics. Um, don't expect that to be much of a problem for the Aces. You know what I mean? Even though the one thing I'm noticing about the W, there really aren't really any scrub, bad, horrible teams like that. Like you might have in the NBA, you have teams where you just know you play them, it's just gonna be an absolute W. Like there's no like Detroit Pistons in the league, for example. You know. But anyway, this here, man, I saw this after game, the Caitlin Clark game. This really, man, the stuff that I don't want to see coming from her. Stuff I don't want to see at all. Like this, you know, this is what I've been saying. When this team loses, man, they gotta find a better way of dealing with losses. But this ain't it right here. You know, because like ultimately, man, like even if you're a fan, you want to see good for the player. This ain't it. This ain't it. Look at this here.
And what's the best advice that Bet has given you in game this season?
Nobody gives me advice in the game. I wish.
And what's
What? Nobody gives you advice in game. But what are we talking about? We're talking about teammates. We're talking about opponents. Oh man, you add this to the other interview where she's talking about everybody's physical with her and all that kind of stuff. Bro, listen. How can I put this here? One thing about sports, competition, competitiveness, is that don't nobody care about that right there. Nobody cares about that. You just signed a 28 something $1 million contract with Nike, right? You got a Wilson's contract deal. These people going to expect a return on their investment. When they invest in a player like that, they're going to expect a return on their investment. You're going to have to get it together. You're going to have to get it together. Right now, it's a situation where you're never at fault. You're not held accountable. You got all these fans that are out here caping. You got all these fans out here making every excuse in the book. Blaming the teammates. Blaming the coach. Blaming the water boy. Blaming the guy that mops up the damn stadium. Blaming the other teams. Players. Like, you got fans that are here this and then they'll blame the other players around the league. You're not giving her advice, even though she's, got y'all some charter flights and she got y'all all this money. Y'all need to be taking care of her. Wanting a damn handout. This is where we at. Caitlin, I don't want to see you playing into that. Don't play into that. You gotta dig deep, find something somewhere within yourself to get this done. You see, a lot of y'all talk about character and you talk about personality. And I keep hearing that Caitlin Clark has this perfect personality, this perfect persona. She knows what to say in front of the camera all the time. Doesn't hang out, don't go to a Met Gala, don't do this, and y'all think this is great. You know what'll determine if it's great or not? Results on the court. Did I whisper that too low? Results on the court. That's what's going to determine it. Like, for example, you like to pick on Angel Reese and stuff like that. Like me, I don't get into what any of them do outside of the court. Like, I don't care who they sleeping with, who they married to, whether it's a man, woman, whatever. Like my personal feelings on those matters don't factor into how I'm viewing basketball, right? So I don't get into that. But what I'm hearing is, Angel Reese goes to the Met Gala, hangs out with Megan Thee Stallion, throws the first pitch for the Chicago White Sox or whatever. And like I'm hearing these things, right? Is active on social media, right? Keelan Clark doesn't do any of that. And I'm hearing that Keelan Clark is the role model that everybody's daughter wants to follow. I'm hearing she's the type of character everybody wants to see. Right? But then I'm looking at it on the flip side and I'm asking the question. What are the jobs of these two ladies? Like, what is their actual profession? Right? The answer, they play basketball, right? But then I asked the other question, right? Okay, what exactly is basketball? Is basketball like tennis? Is basketball like boxing? Where all you have to do is be alone. You just like a boxer, for example, right? When a boxer is training to fight an opponent, boxers what they'll naturally do. Typically, they'll take about a good 6 to 8 weeks where they get away from their family, even get away from their children, get away from the world, go off somewhere, go 0 dark 30, training. The only thing is just be them and the trainer oftentimes. And just be working on their craft. That's it. They don't have time for any distractions whatsoever because it's just them and their trainer. Tennis, you might be similar, right? I don't really know. I never got into tennis. But it's just enough for you to be in your own head and to focus on what you have to do, and that's enough. But what about basketball, football? Let's look at basketball since this is the sport in question. Is it enough to be by yourself and to yourself and be some introvert? Because I remember even Caitlin one time was asked, earlier in the season, they asked her, have you talked to any vets or anything like that? And what did she say? I don't really talk to anybody, except Kate Martin. My friend in Vegas. Now let's go look at Kate Martin. Kate Martin seems to be like living it up with the Aces. Kate Martin has a birthday party, and it's online. You got Aja Wilson, right? This supposed so racist lady and all this kind of stuff that I'm hearing from Caitlin Clark fans. She throws a nice birthday party for Kate Martin. Kate Martin's so happy. Oh my God, I love it here. They take her in, they treating her like a sister. You go here to Caitlin Clark. Yeah, I don't really talk to anybody but Kate Martin. Kate Martin moving on. She got friends, all that. Kate Martin actually was voted. She got the 12th most votes to make the All-Star team. And what did Kate Martin say? She said, I appreciate the fans and all of that, but there are many others who deserve to be here before me. That's what Kate Martin said. Flip side when it comes to Caitlin Clark, do you hear her say anything like that? Besides like greats like Maya Moore, who was her role model, who she wants to, who she idolized and stuff like that. When have you heard Caitlin Clark praise the other players? Has Caitlin Clark ever once came up and said to her fan base and to others that these women aren't jealous of me and so on and y'all need to stop that? Or do you think she really does believe that? Because silence sometimes can be seen as consent. See, what I'm trying to figure out is like a way to where she could put herself in better position to receive some of the advice and stuff like that she's looking for. I'm just asking. Because I'm wondering, maybe is there something in the personality of Caitlin Clark that could probably help her out in this area? Because the way she answers the question, it seems like it bothers her. You know what I remember? I remember one time, and I wish I could pull it up for y'all that won't believe it. There's a veteran by the name of Tina Charles who plays for the Atlanta Fever. Tina Charles actually said when they were going to play the plays for the Atlanta Dream. I'm sorry, when they were going to play the Fever, Tina Charles said that she actually is in awe of Caitlin Clark. That Caitlin Clark is able to deal with everything that she's dealing with and still perform the way she's performing. This is Tina Charles who said that. They said that to Caitlin Clark during the interview, and Caitlin Clark said, "Oh, that was sweet," and I could genuinely see that Caitlin Clark really was moved by that and felt really good by that. So the least I can say is there are at least one athlete, there's some who are willing to talk to her and treat her well and all of that. But I wonder, does she make the effort? Did she maybe go up to Tina Charles and say anything? You know, another thing I saw Enrique actually give her a nice hug too. Though none of that is ever talked about. Enrique Gumbawale goes on Shannon Sharp's show and said that she appreciates what Caitlin Clark, and she also mentioned Angel Reese has brought to the game. But you don't find that on none of these little racist dudes' channels because they just want to perpetuate a nonsense bullshit narrative. They don't want to bring up any of that. That's why I did a whole video where I talked about it, what Enrique said, because I'm trying to show that it ain't like that. That it ain't like that. Are there some players that are like that? Sure. But there's some players who are like that in all sports. Like, for example, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They asked Giannis, why doesn't he train with players off season and all of that? And he said he can't go train with KD. He can't go train with Embiid. None of them, because he said, I would feel like I'm being fake. Giannis just has a certain mentality where he's always on go, always competition to him. Maybe many of the women are like that. Maybe many of them are like that. But this right here, this will get Caitlin Clark nowhere because nobody respects weak, vulnerable, punk shit in sports. Nobody respects that, man. Nobody. Matter of fact, the opponent, they'll take it and they will attack with it. On the flip side, Angel Reese, for example, say what you want. She's a rookie with a lot of hype coming in as well. Because she's partially responsible for the fame of Caitlin Clark. Trust me when I tell you, I've been living in this country my whole life. I know how this country gets down. I have studied African American studies, American history. Oh, I know how they get down. If it was not for a black woman mocking Caitlin Clark in the championship game, she would not be as famous as she is. I repeat, were it not for a black woman mocking her, she would have just been another Kelsey Plum, who was a great player, in my opinion, more talented than Caitlin Clark. The one whose record she broke, she would just be Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum was not put on the big stage because she was not surrounded by the same circumstances Caitlin was surrounded with. She had the record, but she didn't have the Angel Reese to bring the attention, to make the person a victim. This is the thing with Caitlin Clark, and this is the thing that will not work. She has been a victim from the beginning. And for people who levy the charge of victim mentality against my people, for them to do this right now, to be caping for this woman with this victim crap, I'm disgusted. Because this is sports. So you're talking about a $30 million athlete right now. No, suck it up, get it done. And you know what's about to happen tomorrow? It ain't going to get no easier. Because now, she got to face Diana Taurasi. That same Diana Taurasi that your fans have been disrespecting from the beginning. Diana Taurasi, former league MVP, 10-time All-Star. That Diana Taurasi, 3-time champion, that Diana Taurasi. You've been disrespecting from the beginning. Diana Taurasi just clearly stated that there will be a learning curve at this level because you're going from college to the pros. And y'all take that as disrespect. First of all, who's the vet? Who's the accomplished person? That's Taurasi. What respect does she owe Caitlin Clark? Respect is earned and not given. Respect is earned and not given. Respect is earned and not given. You don't just receive respect just because you who you are or something that you did somewhere else. Well, you need to do that here. And that's in all areas of sports. Even on a football team. You could be a player that's new to a team and was great on the other team. But guess what? In that locker room right there, to the new team you signed with or the new team that you traded to, you got to prove yourself all over again because what you did for that other locker room ain't got shit to do with what's going on in this locker room. And that's the way that works. What she's working off right now is artificial respect. You ain't earned nothing yet. You walking up in there and you dealing with you were expecting a damn rookie of the year who accomplished at least that. That's something. She talked about Aaliyah Boston. She'd accomplished a championship at the collegiate level and a rookie of the year last year. You expecting her to just lay down and just be your damn subordinate. What kind of sense does that make? You expecting a Chelsea Mitchell who already is able to average 17 points a game in this league, 18, 19 points a game in this league, and light it up, got respect of the league. I don't care about the team wasn't winning. You wouldn't win without Chelsea Mitchell. Believe that. If Chelsea Mitchell wasn't on this team, Leah Boston wasn't on this team, Caitlin Clark would just be another one of them coming in and losing. The fact that the Fever has been bad and have picked up other high picks is the reason you have a shot to make the playoffs. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it 100% funky. But this right here, this ain't gonna work. Nobody respects punkery in sports. It's not respected. You are in the big leagues now. Period. Maybe if you endear yourself to these vets, maybe if you stand up for these vets, they'll stand up for you. You understand how that works? You stand up for them, they will stand up for you. And shout out to my man HD2TV, who made this point earlier, and I'm reiterating it. I've been thinking it already, bro. I'm not like stealing your point, but we just on the same accord. Shout out to my man Mo Talk Sports who be keeping it a beam. Shout out to him. But like I said, if you really want to learn the W, I recommend Cess Talk Sports. She been talking the W for years. I'm a newbie. Adding my twist and spin. Go to Keita Love Sports, or Quita is Quita Love Sports. She breaks the game down. She be cutting through film, all of that. But the thing with them, they're better because they're more objective than I am. I'm straight hardcore to the gut. I get straight at you. Sharpshooter. She's more, they're more fair. So I recommend their channels. If you really serious trying to dive deep into the W. Peace out. Oh, yeah. No. Peace out yet. Taurasi tomorrow, I'm telling you, is fin to punish Caitlin Clark and the Fever. And that's what y'all created. That monster that y'all gonna see tomorrow, Taurasi, is what y'all created. That 42-year-old woman who was a former league MVP, 10-time All-Star. I'm telling you, you don't fuel those types. Kobe Bryant was the age of 40, coming off of ACLs and all types of stuff. And in his last game, he hit you with the 60-pointer. That's what Taurasi, that's the type of energy she's going to come with tomorrow. Why? And it's not because of Caitlin. She ain't got no personal thing with Caitlin. That's what y'all don't get. Y'all take everything as just some personal shot at her. No, her problem is with you. I don't know how many of y'all be telling. The problem is with you fans, man. Writing checks that somebody else got to cash. Writing checks that somebody else got to cash. If you really care about her, stop disrespecting the women of this league, man. I go on a thread yesterday, and it was Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson on Undisputed, right? And they mentioned the Caitlin Clark game against Seattle. Don't mention nothing about Jewel Lloyd. Jewel Lloyd was the highlight of that game. Dropped 34. Going crazy in that game. So I said in the comment section, I said, I hate the way they are reporting this game. Jewel Lloyd put on a clinic and no one mentioned anything about it. And then here comes them Caitlin Clark stands in the damn comments with they dumbasses talking about Jewel who? Who's that? You know, that's why nobody mentioned because who is she? See, y'all don't realize those players read that shit. They see those comments. And then Caitlin got to cash the fucking check your stupid ass done signed. Y'all gonna learn. Taurasi just gonna be a continuation of it. If you don't, boy, I'm trying to tell you, it's not gonna be cute tomorrow. And right now, Taurasi's actually playing well. She playing way better. Her last game, she coming off of 65% from 3 game, 20 points. Yeah, all right. Y'all keep messing around, man. Y'all keep it up. Peace out.